Good morning. Good morning. We made it. Excuse me. It's first day back to school around these parts, and I'll tell you what, it was a blur this morning. I hope you guys are all doing well, and hope the gang's doing well. And you don't mind me just still plugging in my stuff as I get ready to go through this wonderful journey of guitar with you. So anyway, I don't see anybody on yet, so that's good. And I'll see somebody shortly, I would think. How's it going this morning? Are you able to? Good. Hey, Mark. Good morning. Good morning, Mark. And good to see you. Good to see you. I see two people on. That might be you and me, Mark. I think that's it. We're gonna hit it. Good morning, kind man. Did you have a good day yesterday? Well, this guitar hasn't really been hasn't been tuned for a hot minute here, so let's go ahead and get this sucker tuned up. Hey, Robbie. Good morning. You and me and he made three. We need quite a bit of tuning going here. Yeah. I used to love those guys. What a great cast for television entertainment, right? What a beautiful thing. Days gone by. A lot of love in the air, a lot of great programming. When public broadcast television was public broadcast television. Maybe we're the only ones. Oh, I see there are 6 of us here, so if you're I'm going to run out on a limb here and say, hey, if you're here, you must love watching people tune the guitar. But that's not really all that's going on. My favorite song, Good Morning. What you're sort of scrolled into, if you're interested, if you are a guitar practitioner or an aspiring guitar practitioner like myself, this is literally my morning ritual for guitar growth. I do this every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. We're not quite there yet. Oh yeah, Claudini, Vazarocha, good morning, hello. Glad to have you here. I can't really make out the flag, unfortunately, but I'm happy to have you here, and I'm glad that you're making some noise on the live chat. This morning we're just tuning up, we're getting our breath going. We're getting our posture going, and we're getting ready to take off. into our guitar day. We have all kinds of plans for the guitar day, but right now we're just focusing on one note at a time and our breath. Breath is the most important piece of what I do in the morning, followed by my posture, followed by being cognizant of each and every note tone that I generate. Yeah. So just working on tuning up, just getting things tightened up for the trip here. And you know, like I say, I always say that if one person arrives to the seat to play the guitar in the morning, that's enough, you know. And so in other words, if I arrive, I'll keep doing this all year long, and that's my plan, is just to continue. And not for vanity's sake, but for the sake of just, not really even for posterity. I really wanted to just have everything out there so that I could see what happens with the first video I posted. I do this every morning. This is my morning ritual for guitar growth, and here's Lex. Good morning, Mr. G. I do this every weekday morning, and I really have never seen what does it look like when someone practices every weekday morning for 1 hour, or not practice, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. This is a ritual for warming up. And so I started on January 1st. We actually started a little bit previous to that, but then we started officially on the 1st of 2025. We'll go all the way through 2025. And at the end of 2025, we'll take another look at this last video that we did, that I'm going to do. I'm going to take a look at what changed in my guitar playing. Did my attitude change? Did I become a better person? What did 260 hours actually do for me? So if you want to find out longitudinally what actually happens when we practice for 260 hours, what does it look like? We're going to compare a before and an after, so it might be worth it for you to subscribe, or at least sort of ding a bell so that you can come back to and really get a good look, because we're going to examine closely what exactly are the changes physically, spiritually, mentally. Maybe our communities changed, our families grew, a year or so, you know, it's not a long time, but it's long enough to notice some shifts. So we're going to observe those at the end of this year. And we might have a raffle. I do have a guitar boot camp coming up. I haven't let the cat out of the bag yet. I'm only accepting 10 people, and that's coming up. You start hearing about that soon. Not yet. It's going to be a 3-week program. There. I think we're just about ready to start. I know I don't want to keep you waiting, but we'll go ahead and get started here. One, two. Here's what it looks like. So we're starting with fingers 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 12, and we're doing this 2-finger groupings, these 2 fingers, and then we have these groupings that we're using, and then this grouping. So we're getting all of the permutations of 2-finger groups together, and it's for better or worse, but we're going to practice all of those. I like to just take this, you know, when we do contiguous fret work, we're obviously going to be more comfortable with, you know, 1 fret span. So I like to go ahead and just skip over that and go directly to go collect my $200, and then we just kind of stretch these things out and we're giving it a good workout. So if you're just here, grab your guitar. It's free the entire year. So if you can't make it today, you can always come back. Or if you can make it today, let's just go ahead and start. 60 beats per minute. I do feature this guitar in these videos, my Martin DX2E. And I do feature the capo, the Page capo right here in the videos because I use these. I also use a tuning fork, an A440 tuning fork, because I do not use a mechanical tuner or an electronic tuner in the mornings. And I also feature through affiliate links, if you need to purchase these things, metronomes. So our metronomic approach. This is quartz metronome. It's a great little tool. 60 beats per minute. We're playing 4 attacks per beat, and we're just going to get it rolling. So 1 E and a 2, or 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and we're off. Gentle people, gentle folk. Vazarochas, good morning. I don't speak English. LOL. I'm Brazilian. Hey, good morning from Brazil. Buenas noches. No, buenos dias, right? Yeah, there you go. And we're continuing to move along. Almost back to the top, so we're just going to work on some breathing here. Just joining us and this feels like a little bit too much for you, then we can go ahead and just do this at our own pace. We do not have to do this quickly, and if it's too slow, you can always do it faster, so don't hesitate to do that. Brooklyn, that's funny. So 1 E and a 2 fingers, 2 and 3 on 10 and 12 will go. That's funny. Maybe we can hear some more from you, Brooklyn, if you're sticking around. Or maybe not, maybe you've got other things to do. Other bridges to patrol, from down under. All right, so here we go. We've got fingers 2 and 4, 3, and now we're just walking through just a warm-up. It's just a simple warm-up. It's really that easy. It's very, very simple, and the approach is not difficult. It should be easily approachable with focus on my breath and focus on removing tension, any tension that we might have, any tension we might be holding in our bodies. Just want to get rid of that stuff. We're going to shake our hands out as well as we go, and I hit the road last night for a 3-mile jog, and then 1 E and 2 fingers, 1 and 2 on 10 and 12, and I had Mr. Lance Armstrong. He has a beautiful playlist, and sort of like a 32-minute Run Stronger sort of playlist where he narrates you through interval training as you start jogging and running. So it's a building program, and it's really great, and I've been using it for years off and on, mostly off for the past couple of years. But I just started reacquainting myself with that program last night. And it's 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off, so you're running up to 80% of your capacity. I like to think about the guitar in that way too. I like to think about having 60 beats per minute be my regular sort of go-to moment. It's not fast, it's not slow. I'm used to it. I walk down the street at this tempo on nice sunny days, looking at both sides of the downtown, the beautiful brick buildings, and people, birds, wildlife, whatever. So it's really nice to be here at 60 beats per minute in the morning. So if you think you'd like to join me, you can most likely join me with your guitar in hand, and let's go ahead and use fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. We'll start here now. 2, T, go. That's right. Yeah, just bring your guitar anytime. You can show up anytime you would like. I'll be here, good Lord willing, for the entire year of 2025. And if you're interested in following along, you can do that. It's super easy to follow along. And sometimes the live chat just goes right off the rails. And sometimes it's quiet, and it's like good dinner. So when you're seated around a dining table, Marco, I see that. Hold on, I'll read it. It's like when you're seated around a dining table and you've said your grace, you've said your prayers over the dinner and the company and the family and friends. And now it's time to get the forks and the knives working, and fingers 1 and 3. And you can always tell the quality or the flavor or the taste of the food is good or bad, because if it's really good, there will be a period of silence where there's no interactivity, and it's just a simple observance of the food, right? So it's good. If it's good, it's quiet. So no chat's okay, it's totally good. Drinking some coffee here, boss. Drink your coffee. What's going on? Vine boom sound effect. Okay, you're doing these finger independence practice, but how do you apply that in a real tune? Oh, yes, good idea. That's a great question. That's exactly what this live chat is about, right? Just pulled up to work. Have a great day. Happy picking. Drink up the blessed tune with Uncle Jason. Yeah, Robbie, I hope you have a wonderful day, man. Have a super day, and we'll see you again. Simona, good morning. How are you today? Good morning. So let's take a look at fingers 1 and 3. We'll talk about, let's see who this is. Vine boom sound effect. Vine boom. All right. So vine boom, let's talk about that. Let's unpack that a little bit. Fingers 1 and 4 on fret 7 and 12, and here we go. So let's start with what this, in my mind, what this is. Fingering independence is great. It's really essential for me, because what this does for me, I think, and for many, is it opens up patterns that are non-diatonic. They're not diatonic to, they're not finger patterns that I would typically just sort of like go to as if I was playing pentatonic scales or major or minor form of scales. But these open up, this is intentional, and I call it my morning ritual for guitar growth. So that way I can wake up, and this is my first breath. These are my first notes of the day. So I'm thinking, number one, we move through all two fingers. We have these 2 finger groups, and then we've had these 2. Now we're moving to 3 finger groups, and we're going to use these finger groupings. Okay, so we'll start with 2, 3, and 4, get those out of the way. 1 E and 2, T, E, and 4. It helps in whatever you play, like especially if you advance your abilities so you don't get bored. Marco, that makes so much sense. That's sort of like a condensed version of where I was going. I had this sort of long-winded approach to response. So in order to justify what we're doing here, you know, we could just write it off as mental health time, or, you know, personal growth or personal investment, and that's enough, you know. But what Marco or Marzak is saying is, I'm good just watching you play. That's relaxing. Hugs and kisses from Romania. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Let me just play a little bit without any words so that you can actually hear and appreciate what's going on here. I'll be quiet just for a moment for you. Back to the first 3 fingers, and then we'll start with finger rolls. And we're working on synchronization with the fretting hand and the picking hand. Also working on breath, because the breath is the root of all of our guitar tone. And then these little pieces right here, these little exercises or partial ideas even, they're not rooted in anything tonal. They're not rooted in anything that we would typically play, such as, you know, Mary Had a Little Lamb, or any folk song that we grew up listening to. This is a different approach. This is just waking up the fingers. This is getting the fingers moving for the day. So this is the thing before the sigh, right? So hopefully we've learned all of these things, and they're basically in there. And we don't have to think about these. We don't have to calculate these things. We just play these things, and we breathe, and we live these things. 4 and 1, 2 and 4 on 9, 10 and 12. And we also want to, even though this isn't necessarily a musical scale, these are finger warm-ups. These also help us to become more musical, you know, especially if we can turn off the eyes. We'll give the eyes a break. They work all day long, you know, for many of us. And we'll listen to the dynamic range of our guitars, sort of like ebb and flow or grow and diminish. Also experiment with where we decide to attack the string. So we can really start to benefit from just feeling the dynamic range of the instrument and getting our fingers ready for the day. So that's really what I like to do. Now, how does this creep into what I do for songs? You know, what I might play or approach for songs? That's a really great question. And one of those questions, you know, that I love to spend some time on, because if this isn't in advancing our musical selves, if this isn't advancing sort of like a musical expression, You know, I may as well be pounding, you know, even if I'm out there pounding nails, I still try to make it sort of a meaningful experience. Nail after nail after nail, even if I'm, you know, just starting the framing project, you know. Yeah, good, Mark. Thanks for chiming in, guys. Yeah. So when I'm working on like bluegrass runs, so if, you know, I just got to find a beginning and an end. And then sometimes the runs lead me into new places that are sort of uncharted and unknown. And then I have to stop and pause and then really just try to figure out my way through it. And that framework, and then I'll work on building the framework. So that's how I build my own licks. And that's an awful lot of fun, a tremendous amount of fun. And sometimes that comes as a result of warming up, you know, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on discovery-based learning right now. You know, searching around for things. And I wanted to focus on this time for warming up. And so part of my warming up is to just to forget about chasing those ideas down. Don't stop the ideas if they happen organically, but just come back to and remember, oh yes, that's right. I have time for practice after this warm up. So that's really important to me. So we're going to go ahead and stretch. One of the things that I find very important to, you know, support breath and posture, good quality, strong back, good solid core is, stretching the arms out, stretching out those tissues that we're using for hours at a time. Hey, Mark, that makes sense. Yeah, that's right. Blaming me for the headaches. Yeah. Yeah, imagine being a violin player, that's kind of even less forgiving, it is a tough world out there, but I've learned that if it's something that I think I can do in order to benefit myself and my relationship with the big guy upstairs and improve my life and my family's well-being, that will radiate out from my person into my family life and into community life, and impact the world at large. I think the butterfly effect, it all has a meaning, right? So it's important for me to just maintain my profession, maintain my practice. So I'm working on becoming a better, more well-informed and well-practiced guitar practitioner or a guitar player. We call ourselves guitar players, I think. So one thing guitar players do, Jay Mason, good morning. Thank you for saying hello. One thing that guitar players do is we play the guitar, and you'll find us if we're fingerstyle players. Like I partially a fingerstyle player, so I shape my fingernails like ramps, so I could benefit from fingerstyle. It's also important to carry around a pick with you. As a guitar player, it's also important to have a guitar with you, I guess, if you wanted to practice the guitar. And sometimes guitar is great. It's one of those great instruments that comes to us from antiquity, and we can practice it anywhere. It's difficult to put a piano on our backs and strap that Steinway on the back and bring it to the next date or gig or living room session. But technology is making all of this really approachable. So if you're a pianist or a drummer, you could even put your electric drums in a backpack and walk to your session, which reduces the cost of studio space to rent. If you're getting your band together, let's say you wanted to tour, you need to practice for 3 months, 5, 6, you just got to get your program together, and rental space is expensive. And so you could almost do everything you need in the scope of an apartment, a small apartment. So that's good news for independent musicians, human musicians who are still willing to handle the pain points of being a real live musician. So we're starting to just get back to 1, 2, 3, and 4. I know the viewership is sort of like, this is a different kind of stream. It's not really, it's very much stream of conscious, but it's focusing on the morning ritual. The ritual is an important piece of what I'm doing. The word ritual, or the morning ceremony for guitar growth. Morning ritual. So it's not like, the ritual is sort of like, it's more kind of constant than a dilly-dally around. It's more like a sort of a mass, like you're going to church and you hear it, you're going to hear the good word, but what is the good word this week, right? So every time we address the guitar, we know for the first time of the day, it's worth saying, good morning, guitar. Good morning to you. old friend. So how are you doing today? I'm just checking in on your condition and my condition and see where we can go today. You know, in some cases, I have most of my 8, 10, 12-hour days already sort of pre-programmed and pre-calendared. But sometimes we have discovery-based time where we can just sort of do the research and development that we love to do. That's the reason why we started playing guitar anyway, right? Is to be involved in the finding of discovery, or be involved in that moment of that exact moment of creation. That's exactly why we started. I mean, I think that's why I started. I realized, wow, I could make something out of nothing. And I mean, not nothing, obviously, but we can create a lot of things. And in an effort to translate the musical thought from a musical thought I might have in my mind, in an effort to translate that to the guitar, to my fret hand and to my picking hands in real time, I must practice all of the permutations of every finger grouping. We're only doing tip of the iceberg here. We're only just starting to fight. Do you know what I mean? Y'all ain't from around here, are you? I've been in that town, man. I put a coffee on that desk, and that's what the clerk said. And I said, "No, ma'am, I am not." But all right, so I think I missed maybe that a little bit. Jason, I just love the way you are giving these guitar lessons and the patience that you have with people. God bless you. Wow, God bless you too. Thank you very much. Come back again sometime, you know, come back again. So I think that's large in part what it's all about, and we're all welcome to the table. We're all welcome at the table, and we all have those decisions to make about whether or not we'll continue to show up at the table. Do you know what I mean? So let's go ahead back to the first finger stretch. I like to call this one the kickstand. 1 E and a 2, 8, 10, 11, and 12. Go. So this is all stuff that I would teach my beginner students how to do. And then they would, you know, I would walk them through the ideas, and then probably, you know, I've taught thousands of students, you know, probably tens of thousands of students through the Conservatory of Music I founded, and through the several music programs we pioneered and started and changed the way an entire state delivered private music lessons. So it's an interesting model, right? So it's really up to the learner. You know, when the learner is ready, you know, the teacher will arrive or will appear. And it really is that simple, I think. We tend to overcomplicate the thing, you know. Now, can I work to create an environment of readiness for people who are just on the edge without sort of like manipulating them into it? Yeah. Can I manipulate people into doing the thing? Yes. You know, but what is going to be the lasting effect? The lasting effect is going to be, you know, you show up, you tie up you lace up your sneakers, you got your socks on, you got your running trunks on, and then you just hit the road. And there's no substitution for, you know, that personal effort that it takes to keep this show going. Do you know what I mean? There's no substitution. We've been talking about this a lot lately in the family, as you know, tech starts to really become an agent of confusion for many, and absorption for many, and addiction for many. We've been talking about this a lot lately in the family, that there will never be another you. And it's like one of my favorite songs, right? So we've done all of our 1, 2, 3, 4 warm-ups. We've got through these, whoop, those, and these. We've also done these, all of those 2-finger permutations. Now we've done 3 fingers. We've done these and these. Now we've done all of the 4-finger permutations, including the stretches on both ends. That's a pretty good start. So now I've been, as you know, I've been really working on Pentatonic. So if you're here and you're still into Pentatonics, you haven't downloaded it yet, you can go watch my 5 shapes that will change the way you play guitar forever video. I know it sounds a little clickbaity, but it's honest to goodness. It's honest to goodness, a really great video. And you know what I should do? I should put it in the chat here. Let me just link it over here, because you'll want, if you haven't seen the video yet, you'll definitely want to, I think you'll enjoy it. And it's not doing, you know, there's a really beautiful, what do you call it? Here we go, I'm just focusing and paste this. All right, 5 pentatonic shapes that will change your guitar playing forever. And here's the link right here. I just drop it in the chat. I don't know if it's easy to link off from chat or not, but, and I'll place it here one more time in case I didn't have enough characters to, oh, I think I did have enough characters, so I think we're in good shape. But you can go ahead and visit that video. So now it's in the chat, and you can see, you can go grab it and download the video, download the PDF. There's a PDF binder there that's specifically designed for you. It's free, and this is what we're doing. We're working on Pentatonics a little bit here. And I want this to sound not like it's American or not like it's Canadian, but I want this to sound like a rolling, I want it to roll along. I don't know if you can dig what I'm saying or not, but I want this to sound like it's rolling along, like the stream that feeds the, you know, the stream that rolls out of the Rocky Mountains, you know. I'm not necessarily thinking about, you know, Chuck Berry or Jeff Beck or David Gilmour when I play the scale as a warm-up. I'm thinking about how can I transition from one string to the next and have that be super clean and just sound super easy and super effortless. And that's all I'm doing, right? So here's shape number 2. And I'm going to do the same thing here and just plane it or move it one position at a time down the fretboard until we reach position number 1. And then what I'm trying to do is just memorize the shape, memorize the feel of the shape. As it gets louder and softer, the wave crests over the top, and then it kind of just breaks all the way back down the fretboard. And the more time we invest in that, the better off we're going to be. You're taking off, Mark? All right, thanks for being here, Wednesday and a Tuesday. I appreciate you being here, Mark. I hope you have a super Tuesday. First day of school for a lot of us, right? For a lot of us. So have a super first day of school. I hope all of that goes as expected. So now we've seen the two patterns, right? We've seen, and then pattern number 2 would be right here, and I'm just going to practice traveling back and forth from one pattern to the next, creating these, just creating these little links of awareness. And you can hear where we might be making a mistake, right? I go up to the 4. I don't really want to go up to the flat 6 or whatever from A minor. I wanted to go to the 5. So let's start again. Oh, and sometimes we'll overslide things, but our ears will save us. Our ears, if we're listening, will save us. And that's a true story. So we can really have a lot of fun linking all of these patterns and shapes together. To play something really difficult, but what I do play, I have to be confident in the notes that I'm going to play. I want to chase down the melody that's in my head, and that's not always easy. That requires both listening, articulation, performance. There's so many parts and parcels, particles that are pieces that are involved in sort of like improvisation or musical performance. So let me just demonstrate to you like what I really like to do when I start thinking about moving into the unknown. Now, I just talked about these are things that I should already sort of know, and I have a known, I want to listen for a known melody. Da 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 dee da 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 da. Why don't you know? And one way that we can assure ourselves that we're actually playing what we're thinking is to sing the line, just to sing it out loud. Once we start doing that, we're connecting our bodies and our minds and our souls, all of those things, with our instrument. Our primary instrument today happens to be the guitar. And if you have a good idea, why not repeat it? And then so those things really help us just to feel the instrument. And then when we start getting into, you know, locations on the guitar that we don't necessarily feel comfortable with, so that's really what I'm trying for. I'm shooting for, you know, having the capacity to play the scale or the shape, all of the shapes of that pentatonic scale. You know, basically get my pentatonicism on. You know, get it on. You know, so one of the things that we do with pentatonics is we start to learn how to play outside. Sometimes we put the word outside in quotation marks, and we start to what is it? You know, sometimes we'll put the word outside in quotation marks. And then, but if I think, you know, A minor, I don't have to always play in A minor. I can sometimes just kind of, I can shift up and out of A minor anytime I want. The same way that we're shifting through all of the shapes. And then complying basically with the rules of the 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7 1, right? So we can flat 3 4 5 flat 7 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7 1 and so on. We can also make this 3 flat 9 major 7 5, you know, sharp 5 flat 5 and then 3. So we can start kind of altering, you know, what we're actually doing, right? So we can create those sounds with ease, right? So we typically would have to know some like altered dominant scales and mode, you know, 7 of this or that, and then, you know, it's really easy with pentatonics to just start fooling around with outside sounds, you know. So we could just slide up and then back down into the A minor pentatonic. We could take the A minor pentatonic, start down a half step, and then we can slide back up to the root note. We can start with this groove. And and this will give us sort of an idea about the scope of what we can accomplish. So we're getting ready to wrap for the day, but I'm just going to leave you with this thought. So if we play this typical sort of shuffle pattern, or we might call it blues pattern, or whatever you want to call it, just root and 5 and then root and added 6. Right, but we're only just staying on the 1 chord. And I'm just going to rip out a couple of minor pentatonic, real simple. And I'm going to try to just sing it so I can internalize it, right? Here we go. But if I start up above that by a half step, or if I start here, there's that little moment where we're just not quite synchronizing, right? So, and if you're really good at this, you can slip these ideas in and out without your audience going, what the heck is that guitar player doing? That guitar player sucks, man. That guitar player is horrible. You can do those things and it will spice up the listener's ear, and by the time they look at you, you're like, oh, no, everything's cool. Just to keep sipping your beverage. Hey, what's going on this morning? I'm playing just some Pentatonics. I'm just wrapping it up. But I'm moving from my warm-up part of the session. I really appreciate you asking that. Just working that minor pentatonic shape, and then we were working through all of the variation, or each shape, in order for us to make it all, up and down the guitar neck and feel comfortable and find some level of comfort as we play the pentatonics up and down the guitar neck. But we also wanted to approach what happens if we wanted to give it sort of an altered feel, or a slightly sort of outside feel just for a moment, and then snap it back in. So what we're actually doing is just kind of using this as a riff, or a rhythmic bed, if you will, upon which we can lay some melody. So single note. That's basic, just a fun, simple idea, not necessarily really musical, but I just basically working between the same exact minor pentatonic pattern and taking it out of phase by 1 position. We're not moving up to shape number 2 of the pentatonic pattern, but we're just kind of using exactly the same pentatonic shape, which gives us a different sort of sonority and access to some of those sort of outside sounds. So that's what's going on, and I really appreciate the question, so thank you very much. And what the question is, what are you playing today? That's what the question is. What are you playing today? I'll wait for a second in case anyone would like to answer that one. Pentatonics, it's only 5 notes, don't be scared, said the demon from the 9th ring of hell. Yeah, that's right. That's just, so I've always felt more comfortable sort of resolving downward. You can even use that shape, that pentatonic parallel shifting, in order to segue into this shape number 2, So very cool stuff, really cool stuff, and definitely worth setting up a backing track and spending as much time as you can afford on this stuff, because that's where the rubber really starts to meet the road, and we can start linking all of the shapes together. So I don't know if you roll back and you see, I don't know if maybe I'll shape this up again, but here's a great link to, oh, let me go get this one more time. Here's a really cool link to a video where you can go download an entire PDF binder that will help support your learning in this area. It's free. Wash the dish while listening to Jason play guitar. Oh yeah, wash them dishes here. How about a wash the dishes song? Let's try a wash the dishes song. So what would the wash the dishes song be like? Today I make my ham and eggs and go outside and see where she's gone. She's gone. Now my face is long. No, that's maybe verse 2, maybe verse 1. And this is where the kind of like the kick drum enters. And back my apron over my shirt. Put my hands into the soapy water. The soapy water make those dishes clean. My soul, I wanna get it back. My soul, I wanna get it back. To the dish sink, to the dish sink, to the dish sink, to the dish. Yeah, something like that. I think those are really important things to do. So warm up with me again tomorrow. I'll be here again tomorrow. Good Lord willing, I'll be here again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I really appreciate you all being here. I really appreciate you spending down the seat time doing something, you know, a little different with me on the internet and using the internet in a slightly different way. But it's cool. I really do appreciate it. You're doing great work. Do some good work today. Spread some good news. And until we meet again, I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'll see you tomorrow. But until we meet again, I wish you happy picking.